Good afternoon, or good morning, whichever time it may be when you watch this. So this is the Phase 6 update video. I flew the drone on Monday, which would be the 26th, and I wanted to get this out today. So first off, I hope you guys all had a great Memorial Day weekend. Phase 6 is humming along, and things are going great. One of the things I would ask of you, if you're one of my clients, is if you could invite people from your Phase 6 residence page to the Phase 6 update page. Like I said, this page is made for everyone, whether you're a client of mine or not. It'll give them, with the drone flyovers, it gives them an idea of how the phase is moving along, lets you see like kind of the weather conditions we're dealing with, things like that. And, for some people to get excited to see how their neighbors' houses are going. So if you get a chance, you can invite people to the Phase 6 update page simply from the page itself. Invite them, they put in their information such as lot number and their salesperson's name. Once I have that, I approve them. Approvals are done once a week on a Friday. So if you want to share that, that would be absolutely wonderful and appreciated. That way people can see what's going on. And, I always believe we're stronger as a team than we are as a group of individuals. So that'll make everything move along very swimmingly for a lot of your neighbors. First off, we've had quite a bit of kind of poopy weather lately. Last night we got downpours. So if you're in underground plumbing or in slab prep, you're pretty much on hold until things dry out. They get a chance to muck out the footers or the underground plumbing. If your underground plumbing's been inspected, it might need to be re-inspected because of erosion. If your underground plumbing hasn't been inspected, they're going to probably have to clean that out. And the same thing with anything in slab prep. They're going to have to go in and just fix a couple things due to the weather. That's what happens. That's one of the reasons why you hire somebody like myself. We're walking out there and looking at that also. Recently, I've been getting a myriad of emails, text messages, and phone calls from some of my Phase 8 customers and a couple of Phase 6 customers just to, asking me like where the update's coming from. So with a lot of you, a lot of people do log into the Builder Trend site. The Builder Trend site comes to you as an email, and it'll say you've been invited to log into Builder's Trend. That is literally sent out the day that they sent out the agreement and the booking and everything like that for you guys. With that being said, what I would ask you to do is if you cannot find your Builder Trend invite and you're one of my clients, only my clients have access to the Builder Trend. And in that site, that's where we provide our timeline Gantt charting. That's where we provide our updates that come out once every 10 business days. That's where we upload your options, all that stuff. If you cannot find that, send me an email. I'll resend it back out. It's very easy, just a click and a resend, we're done. And I have no problems with that. But I want to be very clear. Builder's Trend is something we're using to send out your updates. If you are not on Builder's Trend and you are currently one of my clients, please let me know and I will resend the link. Build speeds. So Minto is increasing build speeds. Things are getting quicker because of the slowdown in construction. Last year they were trying to build 600 homes in 12 months, which I thought was kind of an ungodly goal. They fell short of that to probably about 538 homes in a 12-month period. With the slowdown in construction and the same amount of trades on site, build speeds are getting quicker. So before I was saying 8 to 10 months, 9 months was like the sweet spot. I'm probably going to say 8 to 10 months or 7 to 9 months with 8 months being the sweet spot. And again, I'd rather hope for the best, but plan for the worst. I don't want you guys to think that your house is going to be done sooner than it is. And I want you guys to also keep in mind that there are delays happening. We are officially going into hurricane season in less than 30 days. And we're already starting with some very wet weather. I don't want to say we're going to get a hurricane, but then again, at the same time, every year we get some type of storm warning that shuts down everything in the area. And the reason why I can tell you that is if we have a hurricane warning on a Monday or a hurricane possibly coming this way on a Monday, and it's supposed to hit us on a Wednesday. That means Monday, Tuesday, Minto's strapping everything down. The trades are vacating. The town is not probably going to inspect Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, which puts things behind. Once it puts things behind, you're now 5 days behind. The town only gives so many inspections in a day. Now they're 5 days behind. Let's say they give you 20 inspections a day. Well, you're 100 inspections behind just in that community. The town's going to have to recoup that time, and basically that means a delay on everything inspection-wise. I don't foresee anything happening at the beginning of the summer. Usually we start seeing, poopy weather with the way the Atlantic moves. Most often, starting in late July through probably the end of September. But I will keep you abreast of that situation. If we do have a bad storm, I do go out there, and I have a specific drone that can fly in up to 60-mile-an-hour winds, and I will do an update for you guys to be able to see how everything's faring out, usually towards the end of the storm. But build speeds are increasing. Gantt charts are being updated, and Gantt charts and builders trends are updated once a month. I only do them once a month. And the reason being is it's an unrealistic expectation for us to sit there and update them every day. Sorry, I don't have time to update a Gantt chart once a day, or I'd never leave my office. So questions that you may have for me, I'm going to ask everybody. Again, please do not communicate with me through Builder's Trend. At any given point during the week, I've got over 300 things occurring in Builder's Trend that have nothing to do with the homeowner. It has to do with my staff in the field. It has to do with timeline updates that I've got reminders set for. It has certain landmark dates that I get reminders for, not for you. So I get push notifications on my phone, and I use them that way. But if you're sending me any communication through Builder's Trend, it's literally, I might catch 1 out of every 10 communications that come through Builder's Trend. So the best way to get a hold of me is email, then text message, then phone call. The reason being is right now, I'll show you, I have 70 voicemails, and that's since Monday. Some of them are junk, but I'd say at least half to a third are clients that have reached out to me, and I've seen that they called. Instead of looking at the voicemail, I just call them back. So please realize, if I'm in phase 6, phase 8, or in other parts of the area, cell phone service is kind of spotty in certain areas. And we inspect everywhere from Edisto to Varnville to Estill, certain parts of Hilton Head, certain parts of Georgia. And cell phone service isn't always great down here. And I've got a pretty good carrier. So, I don't have problems on the whole, but there are areas that there are pockets. And, sometimes in latitudes especially, it's very difficult. So email, text message, then phone call last resort. I will get back to you. I just answered like 4 emails probably in the past 10 minutes. I want you guys to enjoy this process. One of the things that I just sent an email about is letting you understand our process. So I'm going to kind of take a brief second to re-explain this. We are going to send updates every 10 business days. Okay, business days. That means if I expected you this week on a Wednesday, not next Wednesday, not next Friday, the following Wednesday, which would be 2 weeks, 2 calendar weeks, 10 business days, is when you're going to get your next update. There's not enough significant progress being made from 1 week to the next in 5 to 7 days to really see much of a difference. In 10 business days, you're going to see landmark differences from update to update to update. So please keep that in mind. Communication. So I don't sit down in my office and call every client every week, 2-3 times a week or anything like that. I am going to work on your behalf. That's why you provide me with your options. That's why I'm walking the lots on a weekly basis. That is why I am talking to your builders when I see a concern. I don't play the telephone game where I'm going to call you, explain something to you that might be above your altitude of building understanding or construction understanding. I'm going to talk to the builder. The telephone game never works out well. I'll explain something to you. You might not fully understand it, miscommunicate it to the builder. Then the builder's asking me, like, why did you say this to them? And asking me, like, what are they talking about? It's easier for me to go directly to the builder and communicate to the builder what the concern or defect might be at that point. Same thing with like locations of things. If I see that they've put the gas line on the outside of the house in the wrong spot, I'm going to talk to them about it. You know, I want you guys to enjoy the process. I'm not going to call a homeowner every time there is a challenge, an obstacle, a hurdle to overcome. That's what you hired me to do. When we get to that pre-drywall inspection, anything I've communicated to them that they haven't addressed to that point, we're going to memorialize and report. That's when we start getting more involved with you and the builder, because that's right around the time of you doing your how we build. Same thing with closing. Anything we've talked to the builder about from pre-drywall to closing that they haven't addressed to that point, that's why we memorialize it in that inspection. Also, I'm dealing with this in phase 7 right now. Please keep in mind that our process is a 3 landmark inspection process. First, pre-drywall. We inspect everything from underground plumbing to slab prep. Up to that point, it's memorialized in that report. Underground plumbing and slab prep is so time sensitive that if we see something, we're going to talk to the builder about it at that point. We're not doing a report at that point because it just doesn't make sense. We're talking to the builder. If we see a footer depth isn't deep enough, we see a footer isn't wide enough, we see a bathroom toilet in the middle of the living room because they flipped the floor plan, we're going to talk to the builder about it. It's going to make things easier. The idea is you have to trust in the process. Without, as my mother used to say, without trust and love, we have nothing. I believe in having trust in everybody until they give me a reason not to trust them. If you are paying attention to your builder's trend, if you are looking at your Gantt charting once a month, if you're communicating with the builder, because the builder should be sending you an update out once a week, it's one of those things that I can tell you will be communicated very clearly and transparently, and you will see the process come together as a whole. I'm going through these items because this is the litany of questions that I get from, in 30 days, and the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. These are the same questions I get every month. You'll probably hear me touch on these all the time. Another aspect, please refrain from going on property without notifying Minto, myself, or your salesperson. Main reason being is there has been quite a bit of theft of new appliances, things like that out there. Tens of thousands of dollars of equipment has been stolen from homes currently under construction. Minto will be trespassing you and serving you with trespass notices from the police department if you are caught on site. You are not to be in the house unless you are escorted or Minto is notified and you're escorted by myself. Not saying that anybody's done anything bad that's currently in there. I'm just saying that they're trying to reduce the amount of people that possibly could be, even suspected of anything going on. So if you are not closed, you cannot go into a house until you are closed unless you're escorted. This has had effects on how I do business. I literally have to call every builder once they have a door and a lock on it to let me in the house because this has become such a rampant problem. I've communicated this through phase 3, phase 4, phase 5, phase 7, phase 8. Now it's raised its ugly head to the point where it's now affecting my ability to do my job effectively. So I'm asking you, in an effort of goodwill, to please, if you need to go on site, call your builder, call your salesperson, or call me. One of those 3. If you call me, I'm going to communicate with the builder. The builder's going to give me the thumbs up. We're good to go. If you're caught out there, you're going to be given a tongue lashing. You might be trespassed. You might have the police involved. That house is not your house until you've signed documentation with the loan, transferring funds, all that stuff. You've paid a deposit, but that does not give you the right to just walk onto the property. So please, if you're going to go out there, communicate that. Communicate that to Minto, the sales department, or let me know. Monday through Friday, I can take you out there. If I have available time, I'll give you some options if you call me and you need to get out there. Other than that, I'm just trying to communicate this through to you. I'm not grumpy, nothing like that. I'm in a good mood. I'm just trying to be firm but fair. When things don't get communicated properly, it starts affecting my ability to do my job effectively, which isn't good for anybody. So we're going to get off to the drone video. I hope you guys have a great day, a great week. Please share this with the Phase 6 residents page. Share this page. Invite them. At the top of the page on the top of the Facebook page will be invite. If you have people that you're friends with that are living in Phase 6, invite them to the page. Completely, welcome you to. I'd love for them to be able to see the process that's going on. And if you have any questions, let me know. If you are a new resident buying in Phase 6 and you'd like to talk to me about our process, my information will be here below with my contact information, and my company will be above. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Thank you.
say they're going